T1 in throat. That is first stage. And I thought the life had come to an end. I had 2 young daughters, wife, and dependent parents. I didn't know what to do. I was just wondering whether my life will go on or it has come to a grinding halt. Because trust me, usko ka dimag nahi chalta hai. It is a very, very, very difficult phase. But then comes one ray of hope. When one of my known, they said, why you worry? I'll take you to my Guruji and he will cure you. Humne kaha, theek hai. A day was decided and we said, okay, but Guruji pariksha lete hain. जैसे ये भी एक परीक्षा है, whether you will switch on your windows or not. गुरुजी परीक्षा लेते हैं. क्या परीक्षा? We started. Achha, by the way, that was a time when I was for 3 weeks voice rest. I was not supposed to speak at all. Whatever I had to say, I had to express at that point of time, it would only be through written. I always carried a writing pad and a pen with me, and whatever I had to say, I would write, and my wife and whosoever is next to me would then take appropriate action. So, हमने कहा ठीक है, आज हम अपने फ्रेंड के साथ गुरुजी को मिले. हाँ, कौन है गुरुजी, कहाँ है, क्या है? He said, just follow my car. I said, okay. As we started, thunderstorm, rain, everything. And I was specifically told by my doctors not to wet my throat because it was very sensitive, and be extremely cautious. Don't step out from home. Whatever other precautions were required, that was done. But it was thunderstorm and we had to go. Everybody in the family said, don't go today, go some other day when the weather is fine. I said, no, I will go today only. We started against the wishes of the family members because of fear. And then as we reached Chote Mandir in Paris State, I don't know, अंदर से ऐसे एक feeling हो रहा था that I have reached my final destination. So हमें कुछ नहीं मालूम था क्या करना है, कुछ करना है, नहीं करना. So they said just follow us. हमने गए, माथा टेका. But my wife was crying and crying and crying. She could barely speak a thing. Guruji's एक नजर जो होती थी ना, that was more than a MRI, not an X-ray, MRI. It would scan the person from top to bottom, and then he would say a few words if he had to. Otherwise, you are blessed. So to me, rather to my wife, he said, जा तेरे husband नु 50% ठीक करता, अपने test दोबारा करवाओ. Now, it is very hard to believe. Very hard to believe. But we said, all right, we will go. So I thought थोड़ी देर बैठना होता है और फिर हम निकल जाएंगे. He said, नहीं, लंगर करके जाना. Oh, langar? How could we have langar when doctors are advising me to go for boiled food, no hot beverage, no tea, nothing, and there comes one hot, chai prasad and served to us. I was reluctant, hesitant, scared, whatever you may say. But looking at Guruji, fear component was also there. So I just picked up the glass and my wife stared at me. What are you doing? You're not supposed to have it. But I just picked it up and kept it. And थोड़ी देर के बाद हिम्मत करके मैंने एक सिप ले लिया. Nothing happened. And I said, okay, we are fine. So हमने कहा, हम थोड़ी देर बस चाय प्रसाद लेके एकदम उठने लगे. गुरुजी कहते बैठ जाओ, बैठो, लंगर करके जाना. Then Sangat sitting next to me and कहते हैं, अंकल आप first time आए? हमने कहा हाँ जी. कहते हैं अगर लंगर is his blessings, don't miss out on that. हमने कहा ठीक है, as you say. तो हम बैठ गए. Langar come, it was petrifying. with this famous mirchi, chutney, and whatever was there, it was full of chili. I was not supposed to have anything other than boiled food. But it happened. I had it with a lot of fear, of course, but Guruji ne फिर इजाजत दी हमें, and we came back. And we were all along thinking en route कि अब test करवाना है. General practice is that the hospitals who give any such findings, they don't generally part with the slides. Sangat ji, believe me, we simply submitted one application to give us some, our slides. No questions asked. There were 4 slides were handed over. In all, 5 slides were made. They retained 1. Then we said, let's send 2 to Delhi in AIIMS and 2 to Mumbai, Tata Institute. So next day, they were in Mumbai and 2 were retained in Delhi. When after a week passed by and reports came, we said, until that 1 week, by the way, we did not go back to Guruji. We said, नहीं, एक दफा report आएगी, गुरुजी को तो बताना है ना कि क्या report है. We were so ignorant. You don't have to tell anything to Guruji. He knows. Perhaps that's the reason why he asked us to get the test done again. So, hum next week report हाथ में, as if we are consulting a doctor. We went. As we were there in his charan, माथा टेका, और रिपोर्ट अभी निकाला भी नहीं था, बात भी नहीं करा था. He, in a typical way, he smiled and said, क्यों? Doctors confused हो गए? And that was precisely the case. Both hospitals said, nothing, negative, nothing is there. We were utterly confused, so were doctors. Now what do we do? I said, listen, now next step would be whatever Guruji says. I will not do anything other than that. Guruji कहते तू घबराना क्यों है? तेनू कुछ नहीं होगा, तू अपनी treatment करा. I used to drive down for my treatment. After that, drive to my office and started attending office. All along, all parameters, blood test, everything was done. Everything was normal. Otherwise, when you undergo this therapy, there are a lot of dips. But nothing was of that sort. And those days, Guruji used to give darshan all 7 days. And it was a ritual that as it's evening, we will start our car and head towards Chote Mandir. Now this started for a while. Sorry. And when he blessed a copper jar and he said, आप इसमें आधा भर के रखो, सुबह आधा पियो, and बाकी आधा take bath with it, अपने bucket में डालना. That was the only treatment he gave me. And today, if I am audible, it's all because of Guruji's blessings. It was a second birth, Jai Guruji. So, time kept passing by, and every moment would look, how do we do Shukrana to Guruji? Because life without him was like going completely out of, what do you say, bound. Because हर चीज पे शुक्राना, जय गुरुजी करना एक हमारा रिचुअल सा बन गया था. और life used to go on, and my daughter grown up. I would like to share a satsang of my elder daughter, who's now, married, well settled, has a child. She was in class 10th at that point of time and was scared of one particular subject, which I guess most of the students are, and that was social studies. She said, Papa, I will appear in board exams only when Guruji blesses me. So we went. I said, fine. तो बच्चों का एक आदत होता है, वो एक पेंसिल बॉक्स, रोल नंबर, ये सब लेके जाते हैं. वहां पे जाते थे, गुरुजी के चरणों में रखना, उन्होंने ब्लेस करना या ऐसे टच कर देना, and they used to feel Maha blessed and go and appear and things will happen. In this case, what happened, when we went to Chote Mandir, we were told, Guruji Jalandhar gaye hue hain, yahan nahi hai. I said, her name is Himani. I said, Himani, मंदिर में गुरु जी का स्वरूप है, आप माथा टेको, you are blessed. No, Papa, I'm not going to appear, sit in the exam till the time Guruji doesn't bless me. I said, okay. So, वो बड़ा sensitive period होता है examination. So we took ticket and we went to Jalandhar. Now, as we reached, we had not even checked in any hotel because we thought अगर मिल जाएंगे, bless कर देंगे, तो we'll take take a return ticket then itself. But one-way ticket was taken because Guruji ka coach wo nahi hota. Now what happens? As we reach the mandir, Jalandhar Mandir, we are told Guruji is in Chandigarh. Now what do you do? And I again told, I said, look, Himani, I told you, ghar mein Guruji ka swarup hai. Maybe he wanted to bless you there, but you are, very, very getting adamant, nahi, Guruji khud hi bless karenge. Yeah, Papa, we'll go to Chandigarh. So I said, let's wait for some time. In the meantime, एक गुरु बहन वहीं मिले, उन्होंने कहा, वो भी दिल्ली से आए थे, कहते हैं अंकल आप भी, मैंने कहा हाँ जी. मैं कहा, look, there's a hotel close by. We don't want to go far off, so that it's a walking distance. कहाँ चैन हो? And she was, she carried her bag with her. I said, look, you both stay here. And she started studying, never wanted to waste time. And I came and I was walking up and down on the same road of Jalandhar Mandir. And I was praying, ki Guruji, please bless kar do. Bacche da exam hai, वापस जाना. But no idea. He's completely, and nobody knew. In fact, मंदिर में आप किसी से बात करें, गुरुजी कब आएंगे, हमें नहीं मालूम. Because it was his program and nobody knew anything about it. Around evening time, around 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, when I was strolling up and down, I found a car stopping there. And I could recognize that was Guruji's Contessa, which stopped. And Guruji stepping out from the car. As he stepped out, I bowed down and I said, Guruji, कहते यार तू इतने की करन आ गया? मैं कहा गुरु, मैं माफी मांगी, मैं कहा माफ करना गुरुजी, हिमानी का बोर्ड एग्जाम है, उन्होंने क्या ब्लेसिंग लेनी. वो यार तुसी यार बहुत तंग कर रहे हैं, चल आजा अंदर आजा. So he would talk in a very friendly manner, very friendly, make you feel very comfortable. So I went running to the place close by. I said, come on, Guruji has come. So they just left everything there and we came back to Mandir. Matha teka. Unka piche jaake baith jao. No. People might think, someone might think, that it is a punishment. But he also always used to say, जिन्होंने मैं पीछे बैठाना है उन्होंने सब तो ज्यादा ब्लेसिंग मिलती है, मेरे कोल बैठ के ब्लेसिंग नहीं मिलती. But that was his way of blessing. So we went there, sat. Langar was a must. Langar karaya. Then he took her, roll number and everything. It was blessed. उन्होंने कहा जा, तुम फिकर ना कर, बेस्ट होएगा तेरा. She was maha thrilled. We come back. Now, कहते हुन तुसी जाओ वापस, आंटी नु नाल ले जाओ. So she was also there. हम गए वहां पे. Now Jalandhar station में, in fact, in AC coach, only 4-seat quota is there from Jalandhar. Can you imagine? Those 4 seats were in. We got an impression Guruji had already booked our tickets, and that quota of 4 seats was reserved for us. We took the ticket and we came comfortably back. She appears in the exam, and guess what was the result? As Guruji had mentioned, she scored highest in social studies. Now, point is, it is blessing in every possible way which Guruji makes sure that his pyari Sangat, whom he loves the most, is there. no matter which part of life it is, whether it is yours, your families, and their studies or business or life, anything, he's there. But for that, you have to surrender completely, completely. No ifs and buts. Now, my wife's profession is teaching. So he used to always tease my wife. He says, "Aa gayi masterni, kintu prantu karam." Because whatever would happen, ab ye hoga, acha, actually again you're going to have langar. What will we say to doctors? Because a lot of things used to go in her mind that it is not correct. But Guruji used to always make me do things which doctors had advised not to do. But then he started making me speak. Then I would write, I'm on voice rest, this, that. The first thing I said was Jai Guruji. So, point is, he has his own way of blessing, and he would do that. It's only up to us how we take it. And if we are totally surrendered, there are no ifs and buts. Initially, there might be. After all, we are all human beings. Then another thing is, for any new Sangat who gets associated, comes in as Sharan, he or she would think, "Arey, itna time ho gaya, maine jo manga tha wo mila hi nahi." So it will come only when Guruji wishes. You can't be in a tearing hurry that aaj main aaya hu ya aayi hu, maine matha teka, and when I go back home, I'm blessed. It doesn't work that way at all. So going forward, actually, I don't know. The journey has been so long, I don't know which one to share and which one to leave behind. But I won't go that far. Maybe one more of Himani before I share another one. So she graduated, and after that, we were going from one city to another to make sure that she gets admission in a good business school. Till one fine day, I was doing his seva, Charan Seva, and I said, Guruji, Himani nu kal Bangalore jana hai, paper din. कहते कहा, कहती business school है उथे उदा entrance. कहते नहीं असी बाहर नहीं भेजना इन्हू, असी दिल्ली पढ़ाऊंगे. किथे नहीं जाना. I was taken aback. Tickets were booked, everything. All we did was cancel the tickets, and we said, okay, Guruji. Now, this is something which will happen only if you believe in him and you have surrendered. Little we knew, just a minute. In about a week or so, a leading business school from around Delhi, a letter comes that admission has been granted. Come and deposit the fee. Now, point is, who did it? She was applying left, right, and center everywhere. We had no hope, but one seat was available. She did her post-graduation in business management, and point is, like this, life goes on. So, Shukrana at every stage of life is something which is very, very important. And believe me, अब तो हर पल में, हर सांस पे ऐसा ही होता है कि गुरुजी मेहर करो. Now cut to, in fact, there are lots. I don't want to just keep going on and on. I will share some, maybe 3.5, 4 years back. I had a meeting in, I don't know, PR agency blessed by Guruji, and I had a meeting at Meridian Hotel. So me, my colleague, and my younger daughter, who doing her post-graduation, had joined me. We were rushing for a meeting, and I told them as we reached, I said, you both move in, because the editors were waiting inside. I will take a valet ticket and come. And I found there was some inordinate delay in giving me the valet ticket. I kept, asking the Darban. I said, quickly give me, bhai, if there's, meeting is already started. But they would, so delay would be there. Then finally, the Darban comes up to me, and as he hands over the valet ticket to me, and I just accept it and take one, not even first step I take, I find a zipping Lamborghini passing by, hitting my car so badly, it turned 180 degree and further hits the barricade of the porch of Meridian Hotel in Delhi, completely damaging the car. And it was fairly, it was a bigger car, sedan, Corolla Altis, quite heavy car, not a small Maruti 800 type. It would have flown and gone elsewhere, but it hit like this. And I just didn't know. And what a bang it was. My daughter, my colleague came out running from the hotel. They said, what happened? And they saw the car so badly damaged. And Sangat, my clothes, my trouser, could feel Lamborghini passing by. Had it been fraction of a second, it would have dragged me and hit me. God knows, anything could have happened, but Guruji saved. And Guruji saved to an extent that a GM of the hotel, actually, I happened to know him. He came out, he was told, he came out running and found me there. He said, Mr. Paul, you seem to be quite perturbed. Please go sit in my room. We'll handle it. Hotel will take care of it. I said, look here, what has happened? They said, you don't have to worry. Please go. But kahan? How can you go leave your car in pieces, With Guruji's meher, now see how meher works. A, your life is saved. B, hotel general manager comes out and announces, please make sure that Mr. Paul is given a chauffeur-driven car till the time his car is repaired by the hotel. They don't touch my insurance. But since the damage was to quite an extent, it took 23 days for the car to get fully repaired. Certain parts had to be imported from Japan. So all 23 days, a chauffeur-driven Camry, Toyota Camry, was at my door for going up and down wherever I had to. That is meher. That is meher. First, getting another life, then making sure there is no uncomfortable moment. So, what do I say? It is Shukrana, 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 and nothing else. Sangatji, my humble request is, when you pray in the morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time, never ever, complain to Guruji. Things will happen. Those things will happen which you have not even thought of, which you have not even asked for. I never asked for savior of my life, but he's there. He's the biggest savior. So, with Guruji, and especially when you are in his sharan, you don't have to worry. वो हमेशा कहते थे, मैं थोड़ी तकलीफां ਨੂੰ छोटा कर सकता है, अपने कर्म कट के जाओ. Don't ask for things कि भाई बहुत प्रॉब्लम है, बस मैं बिल्कुल सब स्मूथ हो जाए. अपने कर्म ऐसी जन्म विच कट के जाओ. Don't carry your baggage with you. And that Guru only knows what all he wanted that each one of us should do in this life so that agla janam ka sudhar ho jaye. I don't want to get too philosophical, but this is a hard fact which he himself used to, preach and say. He at times used to say, Actually, whenever you're sitting closer to him, you're doing his seva, he'll say, "Loki bade वो चीज मंगते हैं जड़ी मंगते ही नहीं जड़ी चीज मंगनी चाहिए है." They ask for things which are materialistic things. मेरे को गाड़ी दे दो, बंगला दे दो, मेरे को ये दे दो. जो मंगना है वो मांगो ना, जिससे सुधार होगा आपका. But we are all in that, grind that we are wanting our life to be more comfortable, more and more comfortable. No matter how comfortable we are, how big house we have, we want a more bigger house. If we have a, whatever car, we want a bigger car. We want few more cars, to be there. But Guruji always used to, many a time, not always, many a times, he used to get upset. You could see, that anger or that thing coming, and so you can see on his, one could see on his face. It was this which used to upset him a lot, and he used to just leave Delhi and go to Punjab many a times. And yaar, Punjab di sangat badi sahi hai. Oh hai je kaam nahi karte. I am from Delhi, hardcore Delhiite, but I'm sharing this because Delhiites were known for asking materialistic things. Going forward, it was a big concern when my elder daughter was going through her pregnancy. Doctors had declared it would be, through surgery only that the, this would take place. We had hope, faith, total, that Guruji will do whatever is best for the child. She was in twice. She was taken in OT for this, but then God knows what Guruji made the gynae, decide that she would bring her out. Kehte nahi, let proper pain come. They were induced, and eventually, we were blessed with our grandson without surgery. There wasn't any surgery which took place. And the doctor herself was surprised. And she was so adamant. She says, in the OT, Guruji's Shabad will be played, and Guruji's Swarup was below her pillow. Guruji will do whatever is most appropriate. शुक्राना किस तरह से करें, हर पल शुक्राना कि गुरुजी ने हमें वो चीजों से ब्लेस किया है कि हम we could not even have imagined that could have happened. Sorry, Sangatji, in fact, many a times when I talk about my grandsons thing, I get a little emotional. Okay. Guruji also used to advise at a time when you are helpless. My father was taken ill, and it was a prolonged illness, and he was on bed close to 6 months before he moved on. And I would every day go in his sharan, not utter a word, just, pray so that he comes out of his sickness. He is taken care, blessed by Guruji, and come back. Those days, when he was very unwell, Guruji never used to surprisingly, during that period, he never called me for any seva. Otherwise, invariably, Matha teko, bajaye seva kar. Those days he never called me. And I was also a bit concerned. I said, then I said, okay, fine, whatever Guruji wants. And one day he was very unwell. So both me and my wife said, let's go a little early. Today we will speak with him. Because one required a lot of courage to speak to him. It was never that you would walk in and Guruji sitting there, Guruji, ye ho gaya, ye. ऐसे बहुत हिम्मत चाहिए. गुरुजी के सामने जाते ही एकदम, complete tight-lipped. But we reached Chote Mandir little ahead of the time. And that was a time when, if those of you who have been to Chote Mandir, outside kitchen, there was a small cupboard on which he used to sit. Chokri maar ke wahin baith jate the. And some handful of Sangat would be there, and he would be joking, he would be talking, he would be doing. And as we reached there, he was already there. कहने आ गए हैं, मैं कहा हाँ जी गुरुजी. थोड़ी देर के बाद he called me. He said, now I'll speak in Punjabi. For those of you who don't understand, I'll then come back in English. He said, चलिया, तू रोज आना है, रोज अपने डैडी नू बख्शा के चले जाना है, मैनू बख्शना पैंदा है, चलिया जान दे, वो बहुत तकलीफ विच है. I didn't know what to say. My head was like this, and I was just praying, and I was trembling. What do I say? I said, ठीक है गुरुजी, जो तुसी ठीक समझदे हो. Believe me, Sangat ji, we came back and he moved on. What does it show? गुरुजी सुनते हैं, आपकी प्रेयर्स सुनते हैं. आपने सरेंडर करा, आपने अपने किंतु परंतु वाले सब एक साइड पे करे, गुरुजी सुनते हैं. और फिर गुरुजी एडवाइस भी करते हैं. जान दे. Who would let his dear and near one go from life? But when Guru says, then you simply say, Guruji, you know better what is good for him. And he was genuinely in pain. But we are human beings now. We clutch onto them. We don't want anyone to move out from our lives. But life goes on. So, many a times, such hard steps are taken, and you have to accept it gracefully and hope कि गुरुजी के शरण में है, and pray for his wellness there. अब गुरुजी खुद ही ख्याल रख रहे हैं. So, I don't know how much time I have left with.
Plenty of time, uncle. Please go ahead.
No, I don't want everybody. Today is a Sunday. They would have a lot of work to do. The satsangs are never ending. Satsangs are never ending. I don't know whether
it's mesmerizing. Totally engrossed.
I am simply sharing my satsangs. This pandemic, Sangat ji, has taught a lot of lessons to each one of us. And that is something which most of us learned the hard way. I came to a situation where I thought I would have to shut the shop. I'm talking about the agency which is blessed by Guruji. And I was just wondering, what is that I need to do to keep it going? I was in deep thought always, especially when Bade Mandir started 7 to 8 mantra jap. It was a time when one used to get connected with Guruji and pray, Guruji, what next? Because clients had already said, we want a break. And break for how much time? Nobody knew. It could be an endless break. Initially, they said 6 months, but after that, you need the revenue model to keep going. Otherwise, you're gone. So this is something which Guruji does. He gave recognition to the organization from so many sectors, which is helping us today. During pandemic, Achal, one thing, sorry, I want to share that when we started with his blessing, this agency, and obviously starting with there is not much business. I asked him one day, I said, Guruji, business is not there, kya kare? कहने यार तू बाहर लिख दे रहा कर. Bahar means keep writing overseas. And trust me, Sangat ji, 80% of our work was from overseas, different parts of the world. This pandemic hit us the most because travel completely stopped. Any kind of communication related to business stopped. So we were hit very badly. As a result, things were moving in a snail pace. At times, certain months did not move at all. So during pandemic also, I maintained that. I was writing because we were looking for some kind of collaboration with Russia in particular, because for 2 years, 3 years, we handled a particular client. The biggest problem we faced was language. And we were looking for a local partner who could help us. Whatever reports we submit, they are translated in Russian and submitted. And there comes a mail during pandemic from one of our leading agencies that we are looking for partners in India. And we signed up. Thereafter, since that was a leading agency, they organized a global summit, global PR summit, where 10 countries representatives participated. And from India, they selected me. I went up to Guruji, sir, and asked him, I said, Guruji, do I deserve this? Genuinely, self-introspection. I said, Guruji, it's too big a platform. Do I deserve it? But Guruji did. Just make sure. During pandemic, what can be done, which is going to help you at a later stage, he would make those things happen. It happened. A recognition of the agency. A leading business magazine from UK called Corporate Vision recognized us as the agency of the year 2020 for India. And purely on track records. Purely on track, because on 2020, there was hardly any activity which was worth recognizing. They said, your track record shows so many activities that are going to get translated into this, and we got recognition. So one after another, in the other ways, things were happening. So all I would like to say before saying bye, maintain your direct connection with Guruji. Don't ever get carried away by me, anybody else in this platform or anyone else. Guruji ko main connect karaunga. He used to get most upset when we used to approach Guruji. Ye mera friend hai, enu bless kar. Kehta tu uda case kharab kar rahe. These are his words, not my words. Direct connection hone daya karo. Don't think, oh, that auntie, that uncle is very close to Guruji. He will facilitate, he will expedite the process. No, it works the other way around. It stops. You have to travel your own journey yourself. So Sangat ji, direct connection karo, talk to Guruji Swarup, it answers. One last satsang which comes to my mind. Just before Mahashivratri, I had gone to Bade Mandir. Because I thought maybe, Mahashivratri wale din mauka mile, nahi mile, because Sangat, but everything through e-passes. But I said, okay, we went there. As I was getting closer to the main hall, I looked on the right side at Shivji's Murti. I'm sure each one of you must be aware of the geographic outlay of Bade Mandir. There is a Shivji's Murti. Just, in front of it is the fountain. I looked at it and I saw lips moving. I saw Shivji's Murti blinking eyes. Had it been anybody else, they would have simply taken out their phone and started making a video or taken some photograph. I said, bow down. I showed it to my wife. She said, no, I can't see that. I said, I can still see the movement. So, whomsoever Guruji has to bless, would bless in God knows, only He knows in what way. So, शुक्राना करते रहो और जर्नी अपनी बढ़ाते रहो. With that, गुरुजी, अगर कोई सत्संग शेयर करने में भूल चूको माफ करना. I'm sorry I took little more time because Guruji always used to say one thing. चल पाल खड़ा हो जा, अपना सत्संग सुना. And end में his parting shot was short with sunai. And after sharing once each satsang, I would look at him and say, means given permission for share one more satsang. So now I think I've shared far too many, crossed all the advice which he used to give me. So shukrana. But I would be more than happy in case any of the Sangat who's present here, in case he or she wants to ask any question, I would try to the best of my ability to answer, because I feel very comfortable. Because, when you're associated, puja karte hue, dhyan lagate hue, itne prashan aate hain, then we don't know. Hum sadare, Guruji ne to pata hai nahi, ab kisse puchenge? What do we do? In case there is anything, I would certainly be, more than happy to give my one penny bit.
Thank you.
शुक्राना, आपका बहुत प्यारा सत्संग था, बहुत ब्लेसफुल था. थैंक यू सो मच अंकल.
Yeah.
Jai Guruji, is it possible for me to ask you something?
Please.
Thank you so much. I was just listening to your satsang. Thank you so much for sharing it. मेरा question आपसे ये था, since you were saying कि हम सब जानते भी हैं, but it's always reminded in any form कि direct connection बनाओ, correct? However, you would as a human always look for affirmations कि मैंने गुरुजी से बात करी. There has to be a medium, क्योंकि इतनी light for me or for you, for anybody, it would be very, very difficult for me to. So कुछ ना कुछ medium. No, I'm not saying that I am going to keep looking for कि अगर मैंने कुछ बोला है, and I'm not saying कि मैंने मांगा है, कोई बात करी है generally जैसे आप और मैं बात कर रहे हैं. So my only question to you is कि direct connection के बाद भी, if you get affirmation and I'm not passing it, और मैं कोई ज्ञान देने की बात नहीं कर रहा कि मुझे कुछ मिला है, that I'll spread it out, that everybody should be doing it. Like for example, you having white cup में whatever you're having, I'm also supposed to have it. No, that is your cup. You know about it. My only question is कि आपको किसी ना किसी medium के through तो you'll get the answers. Not that I'm seeking for affirmations, but it's a human behavior. Just a small question. Thank you so much.
Now let me first try to understand your question, because you talked about a thing, then made a few statements, then you came back to your question. Let me just rephrase it. For if that is correct, what my understanding is, then I'll speak on that. Your question is, no matter how much we may say it should be a direct connection, there could be some other medium, some facilitator who could come, and then you might take it more seriously. That person, am I right?
As in not seriously, but अगर मैंने मान लो गुरुजी से कोई बात करी है या मैंने मन में कुछ सोचा है और मुझे किसी मीडियम के थ्रू, as in it could be a social networking thing, it could be you at the moment, it could be the next doorbell and somebody telling me something, और मेरे दिमाग में वो चल रहा है, so that is possible. मैं बस यही पूछना चाह रहा था.
देखिए ऐसा है, गुरुजी हमेशा कहते थे एक चीज, बिफोर आंसरिंग इट, मे बी यू विल गेट द आंसर इन दिस. जब संगत आती है ना, जरूरी नहीं है सब पंजाब से ही है. They used to come from different parts of India and abroad. और वो कहते थे, उफ, शब्द गुरबानी लगी हुई है. We don't understand a word. Why? Can't we play some other number? Many a times people used to ask from Sangat sitting next to me. एक दफा किसी ने हिम्मत करके गुरुजी से पूछ ही लिया, गुरुजी एक गुरबानी लगी है, समझता आंधी नहीं. उन्होंने समझाया. फिर एक दिन कहा, सुनिया करो, ना भी समझ आया फिर भी सुनिया करो. You will get your answers, you will get your blessings through this only. And I was a mute spectator and just listening. And trust me, when we enter Guruji's mandir, no matter which mandir, whichever part of the world you are in, you are going with certain questions in your mind. That Gurbani will answer. You will get answers in that. You understand?
Yes, absolutely.
And it has happened, proved time and again. Gurbani answers your questions. एक दफा हम गए, बहुत कुछ समस्या है, प्रॉब्लम है, तो वहां गुरबानी चली, चिंता ना करो. एक बहुत फेमस शब्द चलता है गुरुजी के. I tell you, we were so much touched. We never had to. बल्कि उस वक्त just leave yourself completely there. Tears will roll out by listening Gurbani and Guruji's big swaroop in front of you. You will get, goosebumps. कि यार ये क्या हो रहा है? What? Because you have not even uttered a word. You entered with a mindset, a problem in your mind, and you are getting answers through Gurbani. Right? Yes. So now here, Gurbani is your mediator. Cut to another situation. You meet someone, you are having your own set of problems, and somebody meets you and he says, oh, this is what I was going through, and this is how it happened, and Guruji helped me. So that was another message Guruji has sent to you through someone. So he's a messenger. Guruji is messenger, sharing his satsang, by virtue of which you got answer to your question. Right? Somebody just wrote, biggest blessing for me is Gurbani. Yes, Guruji used to say that, not me. So, I hope I have been able to answer to your question.
Yes, you did, Paul Uncle. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Please. Who's that?
I've got a face mask on my face.
No problem.
So,
no problem.
Okay. My question is.
Yeah, I've just taken it out. Yeah.
If
you can switch on your camera, please.
Yeah, 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
Thank you.
Remove the mask.
Thank you, Jai Guruji. Yeah.
Jai Guruji. My question, Paul Uncle, to you is, that when did you, if ever, realize that you are sitting in front of God? Did you have that feeling ever?
Not once,
Yeah.
many times. But after Guruji left his chola, it has been more of a pain that why did we not get that feeling earlier? That we were, because he was very friendly, very friendly. यार यार करके तो गल कर देती हो, ओ यार इधर आ, ऐसा कर, ओ ऐसा कर. Means you could never imagine a God talking like this, but he never made us feel that. And that is the biggest regret, at least I have, and I'm sure those of us who had physically met him and got blessed from him felt so. And one example more I would like to give. I was doing his Charan Seva, and after a while, suddenly said, "Oh yaar, ki kar rahe hain the? Utthe jaake dekh." In Chote Mandir, his room was just bang opposite his स्थान. उठे जाके और उधर एक बहुत बड़ा स्वरूप लग गया है ऐसे, and he said उठे जाके देख अमृत वर्षा हो रही. Who could do that? And he's making, I'm doing his Charan Seva, I'm doing that, and at that point in time I never used to open my eyes. I used to feel connected with him, and suddenly he would just say, "ऐसे की कर रहे हैं? जाके देख अमृत वर्षा हो रही." And then while doing seva, you will, and your eyes are closed, you are in a different world altogether. Altogether different world. That is the time when we used to feel that, yes, we are amongst the fortunate, person to get in his Sharan and get that feeling of him being, many a times one got a feeling he's Guru Nanak Dev. Many a times we used to get feeling he's Lord Shiva, और ये कई दफा, और उनको देख के उनके स्वरूप में मतलब ऐसा. My mother used to get dream even now. The other day she was narrating in one of Singapore Sangat, and I requested. That was the first time ever she shared her satsang, and I also never knew. She herself got ready and she said, आज मैं भी बैठांगी. मैं कहा हाँ प्लीज बैठो. तो मैं नाल आके बैठ गए. उन्होंने सत्संग सुना and I was, taken aback. I said, my goodness, but she never shared. गुरुजी से शेयर करा था उन्होंने जरूर कि गुरुजी बैठे हैं और शेषनाग उनके पास ऐसे हैं जैसे लॉर्ड शिवा के इधर. और फिर my mother asked गुरुजी कभी सब भी इन्हें सोने होंगे. And like अभी बड़े मंदिर में जैसे डेकोरेशन होता है, लाइट्स हैं वहां पे और बहुत ग्लो करता है. कहते my mother asked गुरुजी कभी सब भी इन्हें सोने होंगे. कहते तुम ब्लेस हो गई हैं, देख लिया रूप. What was that? So that was his way of blessing. See, it is je manno tarab, je nahi manno tar kuch bhi nahi. Right? Right, ji?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right?
Sangat ji, anyone else who is wanting to add on something or say something? You are unmuted. I mean, you can unmute yourself, but please come one by one only. You can unmute yourself. Archie auntie.
Jai Guruji, Paul uncle. You have answered my questions before I could ask, but I just didn't want to miss the chance of paying my reverence to you as I am a forever fan of old Sangat, I consider you all, I repeatedly say, as favorite children of my father. So my deep regards to you.
ऐसा
And
कुछ
my
नहीं है,
take, नहीं नहीं है अंकल, है बहुत है।
ऐसा
आप
कुछ
में तो गुरुजी दिल नजर आते हैं आप लोगों में, बहुत
नहीं
बहुत
नहीं
टची हो
नहीं।
जाते हैं जब आप लोगों को सुनते हैं। So uncle, my takeaway from today is yes, I'm in Jalandhar, and जब मैंने सुना आप अपनी डॉटर को लेकर यहाँ आए जलंधर, कैसे आए उनको ढूंढने के लिए गुरुजी को, ऐसे ही हम दिल्ली उनको ढूंढने जाते हैं, बड़े मंदिर के लिए
अकल
पास अप्लाई करते रहते हैं। बिल्कुल, आई स्टे अराउंड 5 minutes अवे फ्रॉम गुरुजी जलंधर मंदिर। सो
ओके,
लेकिन या और हम दिल्ली जाते रहते हैं, ई पास के लिए अप्लाई करते रहते हैं। सो दैट वाज अ काइंड ऑफ वेरी, आई थिंक गुरुजी's वे ऑफ सेइंग कि देखो दिल्ली से वो जलंधर आते हैं, जलंधर से तुम दिल्ली जाते हो। या सो दो व्हेनेवर आई गो टू गुरुजी's जलंधर मंदिर बंद होता है, वहां लॉक होता है, तो मैं वहां एक गाना जरूर गा के आती हूँ। मे बी इट गेट्स अफर्म्ड, I don't know if Guruji wants, or I don't know why I sing it. एक घर बनाऊंगी तेरे घर के सामने। I always sing that. So and yes, and secondly, yeah, एक बहुत क्वेश्चन अंकल, जैसे जब आप बोल रहे थे कि हिमानी के लिए यू आस्क कि उसको भेजना है, सो ये क्वेश्चन बहुत आता है कि जो गुरुजी के पास थे फिजिकल चोले में, जब गुरुजी थे, वो बहुत आराम से पूछते थे, गुरुजी क्या करें बच्चे की शादी का, गुरुजी इस काम का कैसे करें। तो how do we ask? Yeah, so I think another Sangat ji had asked a question, and yes, we have repeatedly listened to this, that Gurbani mein answers milte hain. And yes, I like to share, when I started going first to Jalandhar Mandir, I had not heard many satsang at that time, and मेरे को ये लगता था जब भी गुरुजी के स्वरूप के आगे मैं जाती हूँ, गुरबानी की ऐसी कोई लाइन समझ आती है जिसमें मेरा कोई आंसर होता है। सो टाइम एंड अगेन जितने पुराने संगत है उनसे हमें ये पता चला, दिस इज जस्ट सो ट्रू। बट यस, life brings so many questions, and you want that गुरुजी होते, हम भी पांव दबाते होते हुए उनसे पूछ लेते, गुरुजी कैसे करें, कैसे डिसीजन लें। सो उसका आंसर तो आपने बहुत ब्यूटीफुली समझा दिया, थैंक यू सो मच। एंड यस अंकल, a little humor on the lighter note, that it is only Guruji and Guruji's old sangat that can make a oiled hair woman come on camera. So आपने कैमरा ऑन कराया, so that is breaking barriers, that हम कैसे लग रहे हैं कैमरा में, एक वुमन जल्दी नहीं आती जब तक वो बेस्ट प्रेजेंटेबल ना हो। I would never
ऐसी
come in presence of so many people with oiled hair and unwashed face, but
I'm
again
try-
through you our barriers are broken and we see the light in each other. So thank you very very much. Thank you
एक
Amitabh uncle for always giving this platform. जी uncle.
एक बात बताएं, जब भी पंजाब से कोई संगत आती थी ना, गुरुजी के फेस पे एक अजीब सी रौनक होती थी। मतलब कि वो जैसे लाइन में खड़े ना मत्था टेकने के लिए, पंजाब से संगत है, इधर आ इधर आ इधर, ही यूज्ड टू कॉल देम बिफोर, हाँ उदा की हाल है, वो क्यों हो रहा है, ये क्यों, मतलब he would start talking to them like anyone. I'm very happy he was. स्पेशल उनका सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर एक था पंजाब की संगत के लिए। We used to envy many a times, अरे हमारे से तो इतने प्यार से नहीं बात करते, वो पंजाब से आती है, उनको दूर दूर से बुलाते हैं, ये करते हैं। But that kind of feeling used to come and go, because he had his own way of connecting with, again, in every individual in his own way, and everybody thought Guruji is closest to me. That was the beauty of relationship.
That still is.
Which is still there. And mind you, everybody, we think new Sangat is so blessed. अरे अभी कनेक्ट हुआ, अभी सपने में भी आ गए, अरे ये भी हो गया, अरे दर्शन हो गए। अरे एक तो नई संगत तो इतनी तहकीकात करती है, वो रोटी आती है तो उसको खाते नहीं है, उसको पहले घूमते रहते हैं, अरे ओम आ गया, अरे ये आ गया। आई कीप वंडरिंग, बड़े मंदिर जब अच्छा टाइम था और सब लोग हम इकट्ठे लंगर कर रहे, नो संगत सिटिंग नेक्स्ट टू मी ना, ही विल नॉट ईट, ऐसे देखेंगे, ऐसे देखेंगे, ऐसे देखेंगे, फिर ऐसे देखेंगे। मेरे से रहा नहीं गया, मैं कहा जय गुरु जी आप क्या देख रहे हैं? नहीं ऐसा वो ब्लेस नहीं करा गुरु जी ने, ओम नहीं आया। अरे मैंने कहा भाई आप यहाँ आ गए, डू यू नो एक धाम है, ये बड़ा मंदिर एक बहुत बड़ा धाम है, इससे ज्यादा ब्लेसिंग आपको क्या चाहिए? आप एक धाम में आ गए, आपको अंदर दर्शन कर लिए, बड़े मंदिर मेन हॉल चले गए, जी हाँ। मैं कहा और क्या चाहिए आपको लाइफ में? ढूंढ रहे ओम, ओ त्रिशूल बन गया आज, अरे यार बस करो. But one of these things many a times puts you off because that is an extreme thing. But I think it's our job, our duty, our seva to educate them. If those who want to learn, those who want to pick up, that don't look for such things. If at all Guruji wants, he will bless you sitting at home. You don't even have to, come to Bade Mandir. So this is what I would like to say. Now, Seema auntie has just said something. I would just to read out. What is that? Guruji, I come in old Sangat or new Satsang. I come in Delhi Sangat or Punjab Sangat. I don't know. Sorry, Anita auntie, I won't be able to answer that. What does that mean? Right.
I think,
Okay.
I think
I don't know.
Seema-
Oh, fine. So please
Seema
excuse me.
will answer, we'll have to clarify this thing.
Yeah. So nobody's new Sangat, nobody's old Sangat. We all are Guruji's Sangat. Jai Guruji. Jai Guruji. Right? May I take
Sangat.
इजाजत? जैसे हमारे को हमेशा इजाजत तो मांगने की आदत है. हम लंगर करके सब करके हम हमेशा गुरुजी पे जाके माथा टेकना और कहना, ऐसे कुछ कहना नहीं. तो उस वक्त भी जिनको जाना होता था उनका ठीक है जाओ, जिनको नहीं जाना बह जाए थे. मगर फिर भी हमारे को वही है कि हम एक दफा इजाजत लेके तभी, नो मैटर वेदर इट इज इन फिजिकल और वर्चुअल फॉर्म व्हाटएवर, हम इजाजत लेके ही निकलते हैं. राइट? ठीक है.
All
Okay,
thank you very, very much for such
I hope it made sense.
mesmerizing,
I hope it
engrossing
made some
session.
sense.